Maybe you forget a broken bar, but let me remind you there's something unshakable inside you, something even the worst days can't break, something deeper than what people see. You might have been told that you're not enough, that you need to change to be loved, to be successful, to be worthy. You might have stared into a mirror and only seen mistakes, regrets, and wounds. But that mirror lied to you. The truth is, you've carried more strength in silence than most do in victory. You've walked through storms without showing your limp. You've smiled when your heart was breaking. You've woken up on mornings when the weight of life felt like too much, and still, you rose. And yet, somehow, you've started to believe that your worth is tied to what happened to you, to what others think of you, to what you haven't done yet. You think you need to earn your place in the world, but you've already earned it just by enduring, just by choosing to keep going. This isn't just a motivational speech, this is a reckoning. This is a moment of truth. And once you see what I'm about to show you, once you remember what you've forgotten about yourself, you'll never unsee it. You were never broken, you were becoming. There's something important you've missed while surviving. You mistook your suffering as a sign that you were somehow weak, or flawed, or failing. But have you ever seen a diamond without pressure? Have you ever witnessed a forest return after a wildfire? The most powerful transformations look like destruction at first. You weren't crumbling, you were changing. You weren't weak, you were in the middle of growth so deep it shook your very identity. And if no one told you that before, I will tell you now. You are not your pain. You are not your failures. You are not who they said you were. Let me share a story, not a distant tale, but something real. Something that echoes in many of us. There was once a boy, quiet and kind, but life wasn't kind to him. He learned early to hide his dreams, his feelings, his fire. He was the one who always said, "It's okay," even when it wasn't. As he grew older, heartbreak became familiar, betrayal, disappointment, loss each carved pieces from him. He kept thinking, maybe I'm not meant to matter, until one night, when he stood alone on a bridge, cold and silent, unsure if he'd keep going, a stranger appeared, an old homeless man with ragged clothes and tired eyes. He didn't ask questions. He didn't try to fix him. He just looked at the boy and said, "You look like someone who forgot they were made for more." That sentence is simple, or shattered the numbness. The boy stepped away from the edge, not because life suddenly became easier, but because someone saw him, really saw him. And sometimes, that's all we need, to be seen, to be reminded that we were never the pain, never the shame, never the failure. We were always the person still standing in the aftermath. Maybe you need that reminder too. Maybe you've been carrying around guilt like a second skin, wearing old versions of yourself like armor. But listen closely now. You are not who you used to be. You are who you choose to become from this moment forward. You've looked in the mirror and seen the wrong things. You've seen flaws, fatigue, regret, a version of yourself distorted by time, by trauma, by opinions that were never true. But that reflection, that's just the surface. You are not your appearance. You are not your past. You are not the comments made by people too blind to see your worth. You are your choices. And every day, you get to choose again, to grow, to forgive, to rise, to begin again. The mirror may show you your face, but only your courage shows you your soul. The world is loud. It shouts over your stillness, tells you you're not enough unless you're richer, prettier, more successful. But the truth you need, it lives in the quiet. It lives in the silence you've been avoiding. Because when you finally sit alone, without distractions, you'll hear right up the whisper of your true self. The one saying, "I'm tired of pretending, I'm ready to come back to life." You don't need more noise. You need to remember. Remember the strength it took to survive what tried to destroy you. Remember the resilience in your bones. Remember the fire that dimmed but never died. You've spent too long apologizing for growing. You've outgrown relationships, environments, identities, and you felt guilty for it. Because when you become someone stronger, someone more honest, the people who benefited from your silence start to feel threatened. Let them. You don't owe anyone your smallness. You were not born to stay in cages. And yes, growth is lonely. Yes, Change will scare people, but you didn't come this far just to remain familiar. You're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to set boundaries. You're allowed to become a version of yourself that no one saw coming. And if no one claps for you, clap for yourself. If no one celebrates your quiet victories, celebrate them anyway. If no one sees you, see yourself. You must also forgive yourself. That's one of the hardest parts, isn't it? You remember every mistake, every time you ignored your intuition, every door you should have closed, every red flag you painted white, and you beat yourself up for not knowing better. But how could you? You were learning, you were surviving, you did what you had to do with the awareness you had at the time. That's not failure, that's human. You don't need more shame, you need compassion for the younger version of you who was just trying to make it through the day. That person got you here. Now it's your job to lead the rest of the way. Stop comparing your journey to others. You scroll through their lives and think they've got it figured out, but you don't see their sleepless nights, their breakdowns behind closed doors. You see the filtered version of their reality and compare it to your raw, unedited life. That's not fair to you. There is no competition. There is no deadline. You are not late. You're not behind. You're right on time for your own story. The world may rush you, but your soul knows better. Trust its pace. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for. Think back. You've already survived things you thought would break you, and somehow, even with a shattered heart or tired spirit, you kept going. That's not weakness. That's unimaginable strength. Real strength isn't always loud. It's not always visible. Sometimes it's choosing to wake up and try again when your soul feels heavy. Sometimes it's walking away from someone you love because your peace matters more. Sometimes it's staying soft in a world that taught you to harden. Your strength is in your quiet courage, in your ability to keep moving forward, in the fact that you've been disappointed, devastated, defeated but not destroyed. There's a season in every life where you must walk alone, not because you're unloved, but because your soul needs space to heal, to breathe, to find clarity. Don't fear that solitude. Use it. In that space, you'll shed what no longer serves you. You'll let go of identities that were never truly yours. You'll stop asking others to define you and start owning your worth without needing applause. Love will find you again. Friendship will find you again. But first, you must find yourself. Because when you finally see your own value, you'll stop giving it away to people who don't appreciate it. This moment, this very breath is a turning point. You don't need more permission. You don't need someone to tell you you're ready. You already are. You are not waiting for your life to start. It's been waiting for you to show up. Stand in front of your own reflection, not with judgment, but with reverence. You've been through battles no one knows about. You've felt pain that doesn't show on your face. And you're still here. Look at yourself and say, I was made for more. I am not broken. I am not too late. I am becoming. Say it until it becomes your truth. Say it until the old version of you steps aside and makes room for the person you were always meant to be. The moment you stop seeing yourself through the lens of fear, shame, or judgment, everything changes. You stop chasing validation. You stop shrinking. You stop betraying yourself just to be loved. You walk differently. You speak differently. You live differently. Because now you see clearly. You see the warrior. You see the survivor. You see the dreamer. You see the light. You see you. And you will never go back. Tease a broken bar. This will change the way you see yourself forever.